On today's JMO with Josh and Joe, we have Overreaction Week. Everybody overreacts.
Woohoo!
Overreacts to the NBA first couple of games. We go through each game of the playoffs, the play-in games, and the playoffs. Playoffs. We go through. We talk about the injuries. Those are big. Talk about the injuries. We get to OTDISH on this day in sports history. Then we get to some NFL news. Big news drop today. Huge news. Not
Cash
just
money.
Yep, not just for a certain team, but for the entire NFL as a whole. Then we got our Talkin Soccer, eh?
Hey, Talkin Soccer.
Talkin Soccer. And then a couple other sports news. Let's go.
Let's rock and roll.
Welcome to JMO with Josh and Joe. It is Monday, April 17th. And Joe, Overreaction Week is here.
Whoa!
What was that?
That was an overreaction right there.
Overreaction Week is here. And the reason I call it overreaction is because everybody always overreacts to the first game of each series in the playoffs. And it's always like, oh my gosh, for instance, the Phoenix Suns might get swept by the Clippers. No, let's not overreact here. Let's calm down. They have Russell Westbrook. They are going to lose. The Suns are going to win.
Yeah, no, it kind of we almost like confuse it because March Madness is like one and done, and whereas the NBA or the playoffs, we've got like 6 more games of this series.
Exactly, there's 7-game series. We have to you're right. Our brains are attached to March Madness, so we think one and done.
Yep.
So we overreact when we see one game. It takes us about 2 or 3 games to realize, hey, okay, or maybe even the first round to realize, hey, this isn't even close to being over. This isn't it. So we have to reset our minds to playoff series and not just one game.
Yeah, because the thing is, too, the play-in is now our transition period.
Yes.
Transition period. We're still not completely into it, but it's our transition period because, some of them are one and done, some of them are 2 and done, you know?
Exactly. You got to win 2. Some of them have to win 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's our transition. And that's good. It helps my brain shift from March Madness to the NBA playoffs. Because this is a whole different animal. This is a different beast. But yeah, the NBA playoffs are here. The play-in games have come and gone. We're gonna get to all of that. We got OTDISH, some breaking NFL news, and Talkin Soccer.
Talkin Soccer.
All right, let's dive into the play-in games. Hawks versus Heat. The Hawks in this game looked better than we thought. I think they were a little bit. I think we just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, we definitely can't count out Quinn Snyder. We were reminded hey, he is a good coach.
And we talked about this a little bit last week because it was going on during the podcast, but their bench is good. They had a great bench game. Now, granted, the entire Miami team looked like they just you know how when you gain you have a kid, you gain 20 pounds. Or you get a dad bod and you lose a step, That's what Miami kind of looked like. It looked like they kind of lost a step. They didn't play with any quickness. There was no, I don't know. It just looked slower.
Yeah,
the whole thing looked slower.
You can really point to the rebounds to dictate that. They got out rebounded 63-39, and offensively 26-6.
Ooh, geez.
Yeah. So that was a big thing. Yeah, but Jimmy Butler in his press conference summed it up best. He said, come Friday, we have to play the legit exact opposite of the way we did tonight.
And he kind of did. Yeah, we'll get to that game, but Jimmy Butler was kind of cold.
Yeah.
He was pretty cold in the first game and then lit it up the next game. The Hawks beat the Heat. Let's go to the Lakers versus the Gobert-less Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have Rudy Gobert, so who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Who gives a shit about this? This game doesn't count.
We knew like everything was just falling in line to the Lakers. Whenever like Rudy Gobert was out, it was like, oh, here he comes again. LeBron's gonna get his way and just sneak his way through another one.
Yep, to a Memphis team that actually, as we saw, doesn't really match up well, especially when your best player gets hurt. But we'll get to that.
Why are the bigs going against Lakers? Why are the bigs disappearing? Like, how is this happening?
I don't know. They really are disappearing. And I mean, it's not like Anthony. I get it. Anthony Davis is pretty good down low, but like, he's kind of soft. He's getting up there in age, and he's breakable. So just fucking handle him.
Is LeBron meddling around behind the scenes? Like, all right, hey, Steven Adams is gone. We got lucky. He was an injury. Rudy Gobert, make sure he's out of this.
He can't be in here. Oh, he shoved his own teammate. Yep, he's out. He's out. See ya.
LeBron, we've never done this before. No, doesn't matter.
I don't care. Unprecedented. All right, let's get to this one. The Pels versus Thunder. Fuck that game. Fuck that fucking game. The Pels didn't play with zero energy.
Yeah.
Zero. It's like they didn't want to be there.
I found myself using the childhood excuse, like, you're not that good. We just didn't play well, And it's like, when you fully intend to say to them, like, yeah, that's gonna get them, but it's like that doesn't really mean shit.
It doesn't work. It's like, yeah, I only played half as good as I could have played.
Yeah, you're not that good.
You didn't really beat us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. Except we let Josh fucking Giddey just ball on us.
Yeah.
That dude looks like he was like corn-fed out of fucking Iowa. And he just balled on us. Like, I know he's from Australia. I think he's Melbourne. But yeah, it's just a plain white dude just balled all over. It was just a bad game. It was not a good time. I had no fun watching that game.
Yeah,
and we were really excited. We got ourselves amped up for it because we like visualized the Pelicans somehow beating with either the number 1 or number 2 seed, whatever one we got. I guess that would have been the number 2 seed or the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
because Lakers had already won. So I visualized us playing Nikola Jokic, who we have beat the Denver Nuggets.
Yep, we have, and I mean we also played very well against the number 1 seed last year as well.
The Phoenix Suns.
We visualized this, but we had a little trouble manifesting it.
Yeah. The visualization was easy. The manifesting part, we still have to work on that.
Yes,
we have to we'll contact Dr. Strange.
Yeah,
and figure out how the fuck he does it.
A lot of people pointed to Zion being like obviously they were critiquing Zion for being out of this game, yada yada yada. But I got to really kind of point to McCollum here. 14 points, and he kind of didn't show up in the last couple of key shots. I don't know. When you trade for a first rounder and 2 second rounders and a bunch of other players for what you want as a superstar, I think he has to show up a little bit better.
A little bit. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he's not even being asked to be a number 1. That's Brandon Ingram right now. Like, when they're doubling Brandon Ingram, we need a number 2 to step up, and I thought he fell short.
Even with Larry Nance Jr. out, I feel like we should have easily won this game. This is such a bullshit game, and the fact that Josh Giddey balled out on us and didn't ball out the next game was just it's to my point. It does kind of suck that Zion he said that he was physically fine.
Yeah. And
that he was doing windmill dunks during pregame warmups.
It's beta mentality.
It's if you don't want to play in New Orleans, then just fucking say you want out. Like just do it. I don't get it. He's good to play. And he's getting the money he wants. The only thing I can think of is he, because if he felt fat, if he was fat, then he wouldn't be doing windmill dunks. I think he just doesn't want to play in New Orleans. Which, dude, if you don't want to play, let's get him the fuck out of there.
I was about to say, is it time to trade him?
Get him the fuck out of there. Let's get some fucking players. Let's do it. I don't know what else to say. Let's get Bulls versus Raptors. DeMar DeRozan. So DeMar DeRozan's little daughter needs the game ball. She's got to have the game ball.
I mean, forced the Raptors into 18 of 36 from the free throw line.
18 missed free throws.
50%.
I don't know what here's the thing: it's not like you can get mad at her, or you can tell her to stop because that's a part of the fucking game.
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal. You can scream while people are shooting the ball. That's part of being a fan. If they were like, no, you can't scream. What?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to use our inside voices while we're watching a basketball game? No.
Meanwhile, the home team is like yelling at the top of their lungs
the entire time
while the visiting team is shooting free throws. So like it was more noticeable because it was one voice that just had courtside seats and at an away game.
It was a shriek.
And it was a shriek, yes. It was very, I don't want to say this in any reference to her because she's probably a sweetheart, but it was a very demonic sounding shriek.
Right. It was something that like they would put in a fucking Stephen King movie to just make you piss your pants. Mm-hmm. And then you have nightmares for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
That didn't happen to me. I'm just saying. Zach LaVine balled out, though. He did ball out. He came through. It's nice to see, like, when you pay a guy that much money and you kind of put everything into his hands. It's nice to see him ball out. It's good.
Yep.
I'm sure Chicago fans really like to see that. But yeah, the Bulls end up beating the Raptors. And apparently, DeAndre DeRozan's not going to be able to go to the next game because she has school.
Oh, she's out for school.
She was out on I think it was last Friday. Yeah, last Friday for school.
Okay.
Yeah, that's load management, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. It's a little selfish on the school part.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think because she's their best player.
Yeah.
And we gotta bench our best player because load management, school wants her back in. I'm sorry. No.
You're always going to constantly learn. That's just a part of life. But, you're not going to always have this opportunity in the playoffs.
Yeah, to watch your dad and then force 18 missed free throws.
Yeah.
Sorry, she's like the defensive player of the year. Fuck Jaren Jackson. DeRozan.
Do you think that was maybe a conspiracy thought here? But do you think that maybe was the opposing team right there? Paying the school, like, hey, you got to force her to be at the school.
Maybe. I think DeMar DeRozan was the one who benched her.
Oh, DeMar did.
Yeah, that was a self-inflicting wound there. That was a Rudy Gobert, as people are calling that.
Well, in all seriousness, though, she actually did have to get escorted because she received threats.
They threatened a little girl?
Yeah, it's
Toronto.
sad.
Toronto likes the DeRozans, though.
I know.
He played there for a while. She spent most of her childhood, or most of her life there, I think.
Hey, I didn't make the news on that one. Make the news up, but yeah, sad to see.
Oh well, whatever. So the Bulls had to turn around and play the next game on Friday. Bulls versus Heat. It's like the Heat kind of woke up. Butler came alive. No DR. She had school or whatever. Strus had a nice game too. He came in clutch.
He was lighting it up from threes.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. They needed something like that. I think the Bulls, if they had, I don't know. I think they need either LaVine to light it up or just I don't know what they could have done. The Heat was just too much for him.
This is a game that you probably would have liked to have Lonzo Ball in, kind of facilitate the offense a little bit more so. But yeah, no, the Heat came back alive, played excellent defense like they normally do. They work best whenever Jimmy Butler is running everything, and then they also get some supporting cast help, like they got from Strus.
Right.
And then sometimes you get from Kyle Lowry from time to time and stuff. Victor Oladipo when he's healthy. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how the system of the Heat works, and they were able to
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, Tyler Hero.
It's just you kept waiting on LaVine to do something. I don't know. The whole game I was just thinking, all right, yeah, Zach LaVine's gonna pop off. And he did. He was 6 for 21 from the field. He was 0 for 3 from 3. He just didn't do anything. So I guess that's what happens. But Heat beat the Bulls. Thunder versus T-Wolves. it's obvious that the T-Wolves are a different fucking team.
Yeah.
A completely different team with Gobert in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how else to say it. Like they kind of, and he, again, like I alluded to earlier, Giddey sucked. Giddey fucking sucks. Fuck that dude.
I was about to say, you seem to have a vendetta against Giddey.
No, he should not have balled out like that. He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the T-Wolves ended up advancing. I didn't really have too much for this game.
Basically, with the T-Wolves advancing, it literally was the exact layout of the playoffs. So, 9 and 10 did not make it. Neither 9 and 10 from the East or West didn't make it. It was 7 and 8.
Okay, so both. So they just had it right the first time.
Yeah,
you just wanted a couple extra games to make a little extra money.
Just make it interesting.
Yeah, I agree with it though. I like it. The thing I got for the Thunder. Hold your head up high. You're the youngest team in the fucking world.
Good gosh, they have 3 rookies that are technically supposed to be on that starting lineup.
And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still very young, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
You're just young. It's good because the Pels lost, and I have nothing to say except Zion doesn't even want to be there, and he didn't want to play, and we just looked like we sucked.
Yeah, they didn't look happy. They didn't look like they were happy like last year.
Right, they didn't look like they were enjoying playing basketball.
Yeah, they were like the merry men last year. They were just having a great time. They didn't even care. They had to care less in the world. They're like, hey, we're playing the number 1 seed. We're just playing in the playoffs. We're happy to be here, and then almost beat them.
I think, you know what I really think? I think Jose Alvarado might be the battery that just energizes the
the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, he's the battery. He's the Energizer
battery.
Bunny. He's the battery that he puts into this machine that makes everything work.
Okay.
So having Jose Alvarado out I think that's what did it.
Okay.
Let's see. Thunder lose to the T-Wolves. That was the last playing game. All right. So it was set, like you said, 7 and 8-1 from both East and the West. Nets versus 76ers. This one was tough because the game 2 is actually going on right now, and we were watching that before we started recording. Now, the game 1, they had a strategy, and it was to double team Joel Embiid and basically make everybody else beat them, which is a good strategy. I think it's good because some teams might have let Joel Embiid just do his thing and shut down everybody else. Teams used to do with Chicago. Chicago, back in the 90s, they used to let Michael Jordan. They knew Michael Jordan was going to do his thing. They would shut down the rest of the team. Mm-hmm. The Nets are trying to shut down Joel Embiid and make the rest of the team beat you. So, I like that. It just sucked because James Harden loves whenever he just doesn't have to do anything but shoot from the 3-point line and find open people.
Yes.
That's just what he thrives on doing, and he balled out. He balled out in game 1, and I believe that's a strong reason why the 76ers won.
The more stationary James Harden can be, the better he's gonna play.
Dude,
you make him run. No,
he went 7 for 13 from threes. he was just camping out behind the arc, and he just made everything.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think he loves strip clubs so much? I mean, because all the action just comes to him.
Exactly.
He doesn't have to move or work or anything. All the action just goes to him.
He goes straight there, and then he just every now and then he'll dish things out.
Yes.
Weird. All right. Anyways, so Mikal Bridges had a nice game. I like his game. He's a promising young player. Actually, he's not too young. Never mind. He's a little older. He's a Michigan State guy.
Yeah.
But he had a nice game. Now, one thing with Joel Embiid, he's like a cheat code. This is honestly what I think makes Joel Embiid a cheat code. That motherfucker shoots free throws better than most guards in the league.
Oh yeah.
He was 11 for 11 from the line, and whenever we were watching today, he was already 4 for 4 from the line.
Well, hey, it's that white man 3-point jump shot.
Yep, that's. I guess studying that helped a little bit. I guess I don't know, but he's got a nice free throw, so it is kind of a cheat code.
It also helps whenever the 76ers shoot a 48% from the 3-point line.
Again, that's what I was saying. Like I was saying, they were basically doing the same strategy tonight as they had before, but tonight the 76ers aren't making half of their threes.
Yeah, and I think that's what the Nets are banking on.
Yep. And kudos to the Nets for not trying to do something different. They took their L and they were just like, you know what, I think we have a game-winning plan. Let's just try and execute it better the next game. So
yeah. Did the Nets feel like they're like an awesome supporting cast team?
they need a Kevin Durant or like some superstar.
Yeah, well, it's just like it's like a bunch of people from a bunch of different teams that you were just like, man, he's a really good supporting player. Like he's an awesome, like Cam Johnson, he came off the bench. He's a really good supporting player. Spencer Dinwiddie, he was a kind of a good compliment to Luka Doncic. Mikal Bridges, he was a good compliment to the Suns.
Well, you're right. They basically just traded away for all these supporting players. They
that were like promising supporting players, and now they're all like doing well together.
Yeah, and I think Brooklyn actually might be one superstar away from just dominating.
Maybe
they just need that one alpha dog, and they could just dominate.
Yeah, they don't need a super team. They just need one alpha.
One alpha. That's it. No super team.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got the Hawks Celtics. This is just a classic case of the Celtics being the most complete team in the NBA, and basically, dude, the Celtics were up by like 30 at one point.
I was about to say this was this finished off as a 13-point game, but it really was not a 13-point game.
And that's not even really that close.
No.
It's just
not for playoffs.
No, and that's just how badly they were getting absolutely destroyed.
They made basketball look easy. Boston made basketball look easy. It was just like every other play was a cut to the basket dunk.
It's like they were playing just backyard basketball, except they're just really good at it.
Yeah.
Fuck Boston, man. Boston is just like they've had the last like 20 years of my life have just been all Boston sports. It's fucking absolutely, it's annoying. It's super fucking annoying. The Celtics have won, the Bruins have won multiple times. The Patriots, obviously, we know what they've done. And, the Red Sox. The Red Sox snapped the fucking just 100-year curse, and they've been balling. It's just, it must be nice being a fucking Boston fan. You suck. I hate them.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to, it'd be nice if my teams won. I got one Super Bowl. That's why I think we like LSU so much. It's just, hey, we actually fucking win.
Yep.
Let's see, Knicks, Cavs. Honestly, dude, this game produced everything I wanted and more.
This is going to be a great series. I
loved it. Everything I wanted and more. Jalen Brunson is the most, he might be one of the most underrated players in the NBA. It's no matter what happens in game 2, either way, it could be 2-0 going into the Garden. It could be 1-1. Either way, the Madison Square Garden is going to be just rocking.
Mm-hmm.
Rocking. I can't fucking wait. It's just so much better when the New York Knicks are good. In the Garden's popping. You got them fucking wild-ass Knicks fans going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. About the game, it was back and forth, but I think that the big men for the Cavs got bullied.
Got bullied a little bit?
Mobley especially kind of got bullied, especially there at the end. I think they need to exploit that. I think the Knicks need to just send Julius Randle down or whoever.
Well, they had Robertson that they inserted into the lineup because to counter the Twin Towers for Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm. Allen and Mobley.
Yep. And he's a big presence down low.
And here's the thing. Jared Allen's really good. I think they were just playing super soft. Now, also, what could happen is people could... Obviously, everybody's talking about Mobley being soft, so that'll probably fuel him.
It probably will. Whenever it's nothing like social media blowing up and going viral about something about your weakness that'll kickstart you.
Yeah, and all these guys are they're not guys that'll back down. If you start saying shit like that, it'll fuel them and get them angry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Knicks are so much fun. It's the Villanova Knicks. Brunson, probably the most important player. He might not be the best player on the Knicks. I think that is probably Julius Randle. But he's the most important player.
Yeah.
I think so. The MIP.
He's a straight winner. He's just a winner, Like he won in college. He wins. He won with the Mavs quite a bit. I mean, I know they didn't win the finals, but they did better than they did this year.
They did.
He's a straight winner. So is Josh Hart. But yeah, no, this is going to be a great series, good game. You gotta give some credit to Spida though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
38 points. He had 1 point. He had like 12 points in a row. Like single-handedly was keeping the Cavs in this game.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He's going to shoot. Donovan Mitchell's going to shoot shots. He's good. He's obviously their number one. But, yeah, he needs somebody else.
Yeah.
He needs somebody else. There you go. Let's see. Another good game. Kings-Warriors. Kings-Warriors. This is going to be another fucking amazing series.
This is going to be so good.
Sabonis versus Draymond's going to be just it's going to be everything I want and more.
They might as well just put a ring in the center of the court and just have them box it out.
Have them duke it out.
Yeah.
I think this has been an overreaction too. The Warriors, everybody's like, the Warriors are done. The Warriors are too old. The Warriors they can't win on the road. Blah blah blah. Chill out. I don't think Malik Monk's gonna have another fucking crazy game. De'Aaron Fox might, but I don't think Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox will both average or total for 60 points between the two of them.
A little bit over.
A little over 60 points between the two of them. I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, I think that might have been even 70 points because I think Malik had 38, or no, De'Aaron had 38 and 38. Malik had 32.
Yeah, 30. I think he had 33. But yeah, either way, they both combined for most of the Kings' points. I don't think that's going to happen again.
No, and you honestly, Draymond said that too in his post-game conference. He's like, yeah, we can't let Malik have that.
No, coming off the bench, it's nice though nice for the Kings.
Yeah,
it was cool. They haven't won a playoff game since 2006, so Sacramento Kings fans enjoy this.
That place was rocking.
Oh yeah,
you got to give some credit to the fans. That place was rocking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would be rocking too if my team hadn't been to the playoffs since what happened in 2006? George Bush was still the president.
Holy.
And I wanted something to make it sound old. But yeah, definitely be looking forward to Draymond versus Sabonis. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah. Last thing I had on this, because this was an exciting game because, it seemed like Sacramento just matched the Warriors style of play. Uh-huh. We had 11 threes in the fourth quarter between both teams.
Oh, nice.
And he was just going back and forth. It was unbelievable.
It's what you like to see.
Yeah, and the most amount of points scored in the fourth quarter.
So it's just going to be people shooting darts from the three-point line and then Draymond and Sabonis just battling each other. I hope one of them bites the other's ear off. We'll go Mike Tyson style on this.
Yeah.
Lakers versus Grizzlies. Dude, I say you're hitting the panic button if you're a Grizzlies fan. You're hitting the panic button. You lost the first game. That was your home game. You needed to win. John Morant's hand does not look like it's going to be... He might be back out there. I don't know how serious it is. But, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then you're going against LeBron James.
Yeah, he's doubtful. He's doubtful for game 2 right now. Is still the current status,
which is not good because this is a home game they have to win.
Oh, they got to win.
This is a must-win for the Grizzlies. It doesn't feel like a 7-2 matchup.
No, and I mean the thing is you can't do this without Ja Morant and Steven Adams. You got to if you're going to have Ja Morant out, you're going to have full force everywhere else. Because
yes.
We've seen the Memphis Grizzlies perform very well without Ja Morant.
Mm-hmm.
They have the chemistry, they can do that, but when more pieces fall from the puzzle, it's it's kind of hard to see them actually moving on.
I think it's just going to be difficult without Steven Adams down low. I think he's a huge presence, and sure, they got Jaren Jackson, but I think they need I think he needs a little more help, and I think Steven Adams probably would have provided that. Let's see, Hillbilly Kobe, Austin Reeves balled out. He's the energy guy, so he's the Pelicans' Jose Alvarado.
Yeah,
that's what he is to the Lakers.
Yes,
he's the energy guy. He's the Matthew Dellavedova of the 2016 Cavaliers.
Yes.
Guy who provides that spark, that energy. He's the try-hard guy.
Yeah.
He
had the white person shine moment. We always have a white person that just shines during the playoffs. We had, Kevin Huerter with the Hawks that one year.
Mm-hmm.
There's always that one moment, where a white person just shines in a game, and that was Austin Reeves.
That was Austin Reeves. Last year it was Tyler Hero, I think. We had Tyler Hero ball out one of the series with Miami last year. It's just it's nice to see. We get one every now and then.
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks versus LeBron is gonna be fun. I'm excited about that.
Yes, that is going to be fun. I'm really picturing this as a Lance Stevenson versus LeBron 2.0.
If he like tries to blow in LeBron's ear, that would
Yeah.
just set me off.
He needs to bring the tactics because we've seen in the past that has worked.
You got to get creative.
Yes.
You have to get creative. It's got to be something LeBron hasn't seen before too.
Yes.
That's what I've noticed. If you do something that LeBron's already seen, then it doesn't work as well. You
Yeah.
got to do something LeBron hasn't seen. So pull something out of your bag of tricks there, bud. Let's see. So yeah, Lakers win. Again, panic meter for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I have to question what Morant was thinking. Like, I get it. He's an explosive athlete, but he got hurt trying to posterize AD. I mean, that's a 6'3" guy going against a 6'10" guy who's known as a shot blocker in the league.
I think Morant is a little wild. He plays wild.
Yes.
I think that's the best way to describe him. It's out of control wild, but he's so fucking freaky athletic that he makes it all work. Mm-hmm. And I think he just he tried to get really wild, either ran out of talent. I think that was the combination.
Well, I mean, he almost had the dunk. It's just, I mean, we really don't picture injuries very often, but that's, looking back at it, that's like a pretty easily way to get yourself hurt.
Maybe he needed a little humbling. Maybe he's just because a guy like that, especially as young as John Morant is, can get big headed.
Yeah, I mean,
get big headed. He's like, I can do anything I want because he has been. He's been balling out.
Yeah,
he's been one of the best players in the West.
He's like, I can just dunk on this 6'10" guy real quick.
In this 6'10" guy with the wingspan of a 7'4" giant.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry, bro. The AD is gonna block you 9 times out of 10. So yeah, let's see. Heat versus Bucks. This is the game of injuries. This is an because it's a back injury. So it could either be the Giannis injury is a back injury. So it could either be very bad or not that. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
The MRI came back clean, or whatever you call the results of an MRI.
We're not doctors.
So that's a good sign. So we'll see what happens with that.
Giannis.
I don't think that they can win with Giannis. If I'm being honest, Chris Middleton can't do it all.
No.
Again, especially against Miami Heat, which Miami Heat's a very good team. They're very good. They can. I think without Giannis in the lineup, I think they match up very well.
Well, I was gonna say honestly, I thought before this series that the Heat were a dangerous team, to go into the playoffs. I believe I mentioned that last week too. How they have an experienced team that's been deep in the playoffs before. You have an experienced coach who's been in the playoffs numerous times.
They've had the same core since basically 2019, 2020. Mm-hmm. They do have chemistry. You're absolutely right, and they have Jimmy Butler.
Yep. So, yeah, no, I definitely think so. Tyler Hero also got hurt in this game.
That sucks. Like we were talking about, he's an energy guy.
He is an energy guy. But yeah, no, the Heat, they were still able to pull it off, and
this would shake things up. It would basically mean that the Celtics are going to win the East.
Probably so. Yeah, you're right.
Because the main I get it. The Celtics beat the Bucks by almost over 40 points at the end of the season. I don't think that would be the same as if they played a 7-round series or a 7-game series, but shit.
I feel like the only people that would actually contend with the Celtics in the East, if that was to happen, if the Bucks were to go down, I feel like it would come out of the Cavs series, the Cavs-Knicks series.
Cavs-Knicks.
I don't know. For some reason, I just don't like the 76ers to go far.
No. Because everything's centered around Joel Embiid, and I think that if they just I think Williams can do fine by himself on Embiid. He won't shut down Embiid, but Robert Williams he'll be fine. I really do think they would just keep Robert Williams in. And just kind of let the rest of the Celtics team ball out.
Yeah.
James Harden's not making those threes against the Celtics.
No, absolutely not.
I love how we're riding off the Nets already, even though we're both rooting for them. But it's kind of
I mean,
The
look,
76ers are probably going to win.
they're a cool story. They're a great story.
It is. It's fun. It's fun to root for. Okay, the Clippers Suns.
I alluded to this earlier. Overreaction. Overreaction. Westbrook fucking sucks. He was mad. He was like an angry kid on like a pickup basketball game because he wasn't getting the ball. And he was 3 of 19 from field goals.
I was about to say, honestly, it got overlooked because let's be real. Westbrook did make a hell of a play and a hell of a stand towards the end. I mean, he drew the foul, got himself 2 free throws, made 2 clutch free throws. That was good for him. And then he did a clutch play against Devin Booker, blocking and, getting the rebound and throwing it out of bounds against him.
Yep.
So
he is athletic. He's an athletic freak. He is. He just it's just like nobody wants to pass it to him because they know they're not going to get the ball back. He's a fucking ball hog.
But before that, that game-saving plays, he actually was about to throw the game away. I don't know if you saw, but the last couple of drives before that, he was like, it was like turnover or he was missing shots that were getting, that the other team was just getting the rebound for.
So it was playing keep away from Russ, so he didn't fucking blow the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, but other than that, you know what we've been robbed of the last couple of years is the clutchness of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that is true. We have.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just because he's a lazy bum.
Well, no, it's just because he's been hurt.
I think he's a lazy bum. I also think he's a robot. I'm very convinced that he's not actually a human being. He's just a fucking robot, and he just every now and then they have to recharge him, and that's why he needs load management.
His shooting mechanics does look mechanical.
It does. It looks very mechanical, and I don't like how he has zero personality. He just stands there.
He doesn't even know how to laugh.
No, he can't even fucking laugh. But yeah, so the Clippers have Russell Westbrook. I'm not fucking worried about this at all. It was a Suns home game though, so we gotta make sure that we point that out. The Suns lost a home game, so they're gonna have to go to LA, which it's not really that far away, but they'll have to go to LA either 0-2 or 1-1. So. And that's all. It's always a nice feeling when you got the away team wins. Like the Knicks winning against the Cavs, it's huge.
Well, when you're in a series like that, especially, I mean, what was it? Everybody had written the Clippers off, and if you're going to pull an upset, this is the way to do it. You got to get up early. You got to get up on the count early, like baseball.
Yep, exactly. Because I feel like that Clippers team, if they get down early, they're going to just implode.
Yes,
they will implode. Here's the thing. Kevin Durant actually had a decent game, but he didn't have a decent game. He put up 27 points, but it was like he didn't really play that well.
He did.
No, he in clutch time he didn't, like in the fourth quarter he was nowhere. He didn't play very well in clutch time, and like Chris Paul had a weird double. It was so weird. He had 11 assists and 10 rebounds. but 7 points.
Yeah.
So it's like
he was hustling though. He was hustling around.
I think like and it took a little while for KD to settle in. You remember that he started off like 0 for 6, 0 for 5 or something like that.
Yeah, it took him
a little while to settle in. I think if I was betting on this game, which I won't be, I would bet the Suns to just absolutely maul the Clippers next game. I think they'll figure it out. I think they just got kind of blindsided. Kawhi played out of his mind. He was very, very good.
He was so clutch.
I think the game plan for the Clippers to beat the Suns was to play defense against Russell Westbrook.
Whereas you don't play defense against Russell Westbrook.
Just keep the ball away. Keep the ball from Russell Westbrook. Let's see, the Nuggets versus the T-Wolves. This was a friendly reminder from the Nuggets that, hey, there's a reason why we were number 1 in the West. There's a reason why we had one of the best records in the entire NBA, and there's a reason why Nikola Jokic is a 2-time reigning MVP, probably going to win it again.
Yeah, I mean, you could actually summarize this whole game in that one play that Jokic had, where he like had that stop and then just spin around, take to the basket, was absolutely filthy. I don't understand how a big man like that looks like a point guard.
And also, how do you defend that?
No, you don't.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is like we get fascinated by the who's the number one pick coming out of this draft?
Wembanyama.
Yeah, we get fascinated by those big men like him that can, have handles, which is very, very impressive. I'm not trying to, downplay that by any means, but to see a player like Jokic who has the body type of an old big man, like an old style big man,
Patrick Ewing.
Yes, and still be able to make the handles like that is unreal.
Yeah, because Wembanyama is skinny. Kevin Durant's skinny.
Yep.
Like AD's skinnier. Like all these guys, these big men coming up, they're not even really big. They're just tall and skinny and have a little bit of muscle.
Yes.
So yeah,
even though Jokic only had 13 points, it's like he didn't need to do that.
No.
The Nuggets were playing absolutely amazing defense. Not one player from the T-Wolves had over 20 points, and they just shut everything down, and they just did what they needed to do.
Yep.
There was a reason why the Nuggets were minus 8.5, which I thought was crazy high, but
I guess I was wrong. Do you got anything else in the NBA?
That's about it.
We'll keep following that as the playoffs move on. Let's get to On This Day in Sports History, OTDISH. On this day in sports history in 1860, England's Tom Sayers and America's John Heenan fight out a brutal 2 hour and 27-minute draw. Let me say that again. 2 hours and 27-minute draw in England. Police had to stop the fight. It was a boxing match. The police had to stop the fight. It was acknowledged as the first world title bout. It went 42 fucking rounds.
42 rounds.
42 goddamn rounds of fighting. That's insane.
And a decision was made to make a decision on a fight.
Yeah. Like, that's a baseball game.
Yeah.
You just watched two people fight the length of a baseball game.
How did they last?
That's what I don't know. Like, what you want to talk about robots?
I mean, because the thing is even if you're just kind of moving around the ring a little bit, I mean, that's still like they got that adrenaline going. I mean, that's still tiresome.
I get maybe the breaks in between rounds got longer. That's the only thing. But 2 hours and 2.5 hours, dude.
I mean, well, think about it. If we had 42 rounds, well, let's say without breaks, what's that an average of?
Dude, that's math.
Yeah, that's shit.
42, 2.5 hours.
You got to put it into minutes.
60, 120, 150. 150 divided by 42. Shit.
That's like 3 minutes per.
Is that 3 minutes? No. Yeah.
142. Close to 3
so
minutes.
So it would be like 2-minute rounds, and then they would have like 2-minute breaks. So Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. All right, well, there we go. We got the math done. It's not exact, but it's a roundabout. Shit.
Yeah, so 2.5 hour
fight.
Insane. All right, well, you know what? I'm a little bit close to that timeline with my first one. In 1869, 6 years afterward, or 9 years afterwards, geez, math. The first pro baseball game, the Cincinnati Reds versus the Cincinnati Amateurs, which is weird. A little bit, what is it, ironic, maybe?
I guess.
A pro game being, and your mascot's the Amateurs.
Huh.
So, but the Cincinnati Reds beat the Cincinnati Amateurs 24-15.
That's a hell of a baseball game.
That's a high-scoring game.
There's no pitching.
No.
In 1869? Huh. I feel like that's... Actually, I think that's kind of like right where... Because like they were playing baseball well before that, but I guess the
first pro game. I mean, I'm not saying... I don't think it's the first major league
baseball
but like
game.
a
pro. That makes sense.
It kind of does.
1869's fine.
It aligns.
Yeah.
It does. In 1922, this is... because we have the Boston Marathon this weekend, or
today, I think.
Yeah, the Boston Marathon was today. On this date in 1922, the 26th Boston Marathon was won by Clarence DeMar in a world record timing of 2 hours and 18 minutes and 10 seconds. Honestly, that's a lot faster than I would have thought. For 1922, 2 hours and 18 minutes. The Kenyan who just won it, did it in 2 hours and 5 minutes.
So that's not very far off.
Like, technically, it kind of is. 13 minutes is a long way. That's more than 2 miles. That's almost like 3 miles. But I don't know. It just seems like it would be longer in 1922.
Well, yeah, because most people in 1922 were just like, coming off their couch and then running a marathon. Whereas, like, today we have like so many guys that just like trained all year long.
They'll just run from New York to Los Angeles for no reason.
Yeah, Forrest Gump style.
Just Forrest Gump that motherfucker.
But alrighty, continuing with the baseball theme. 1947, Jackie Robinson bunts for his first major league hit.
Bunt.
Yep.
It's a bunt. That's kind of disappointing if I'm thinking about it. Like, I wish his first one was like a home run. I wish he just yanked it out of the park.
He's a team player. He knew what the situation was, and he called for a bunt.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He had plenty more afterwards, so
of course.
he had plenty of home runs.
Yeah.
He team player. Team player. That's good. I have one more in 1999. It's just a funny one. In 1999, the Cleveland Browns they drafted Tim Couch with their first pick.
Tim Couch.
They selected Tim Couch.
Was he sitting on his couch whenever he was selected?
I don't know. I think everybody in Cleveland was sitting on their couch. It was just the whole Cleveland team was sitting on the couch. I think that was what started their quarterback woes.
Tim Couch?
Yeah, I think it was like him, and then that's when they just had like a shit ton of quarterbacks that didn't do anything.
Did Belichick draft him?
I don't know. I don't know when Belichick got to the Patriots. I think he might have been there. Oh, I think Belichick.
He was definitely there before, but he was gone.
He was gone by then.
Yeah.
But do you have any more?
Yep. Last one. Another baseball. NL greatest, the National League greatest comeback. Phillies beat the Cubs in 1976, 18-16 in 10 innings after being down 12-1.
12-1's the biggest comeback?
12-1's the biggest comeback. Mike Schmidt had 4 straight home runs.
Wow.
Right?
Well done, Mike Schmidt. I guess I'm so used to college baseball. I watch more college baseball than I do pro, and you see like comebacks down like 16 all the time. I just like when I'm watching LSU, I don't care how much we're down by. I'm never turning it off. Not until the third out of the ninth inning.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like it's because of the variance in pitching. Like whereas like the pros, like your reserves, like they're still professionals. Like they're gonna freaking pitch like really well. But in college, you've got your aces in the front. But then after that, it's whether you have a good night or not.
Yeah, you're right. You got like Charlie from high school basically on the mound, like filling in.
Throw me a fast one.
Throw me a fast one. Let's see. So on this date in history, in 1970, Apollo. This is kind of continuing on with what I did last week. Apollo 13 enters the Earth's atmosphere and splashed down, ending one of the most tense chapters in space history. That was last week. Last week, the oxygen tank had blown up, and it was not looking good. Not looking good. Houston, we've had a problem.
Ooh. Keeping up with Apollo 13.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine, I got a little different twist. In 2012, the 18th century St. Cuthbert Gospel, Europe's oldest intact book, is bought by the British Library for £9 million, which equates for $12.3 million.
Jeez.
Yeah.
They bought a book for $9 million?
£9 million.
Pounds. Well, $12.5 million.
Yeah.
What, do they consider it like a work of art?
Well, it's the oldest book.
In history? I guess so.
Well, in Europe's oldest intact book. So.
Yeah. I guess.
Old. When it gets to a level of old, it becomes like.
I think that's the same thing.
Very valuable.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing with art.
Yeah. If it's old.
If it's old. It's just if it's old.
Yeah. I've actually really considered that, like with items, like maybe like what if I like kept one of the Nokia brick phones, like
True.
Somebody probably would buy it nowadays. Well, what if I saved it for 20 more years after right now?
Yeah, 2043.
Yeah,
It's a relic.
it's a kind of a relic. Yeah.
True. All right, let's get on to NFL news.
Big NFL news. Jalen Hurts contract extension. It's huge. Massive. Great for the... I think it's great. I love it because I don't really like Philly very much. I don't like the Eagles very much. And I think it's going to screw them over royally because I don't think Jalen Hurts can win and go to the Super Bowl again without another stacked team like they had. So
I'm here for it. We kind of knew it was coming. It was a 5-year, $255 million extension with
about almost $180 million guaranteed, I think is what it was.
Yep, 179.
$179.304 million guaranteed. This, I had to one up you there.
See that?
This is good. It's kind of what it's doing to the market is it's kind of bringing it back down to where it needs to be. We shouldn't have been guaranteeing complete $230 million contracts to quarterbacks at all.
Well, yeah, that's like I was gonna say is that this. Yeah, it was a deal to Jalen Hurts, which is awesome. I'm glad he got the bag, but there was so many other underlining storylines that kind of came with this.
Yes, this is huge. This is a blockbuster deal.
Yeah, because he's now the highest paid quarterback in the league, which we still have Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and then obviously Lamar Jackson's contracts that are due.
It was the biggest contract in terms of average
Annual value.
Yes,
In
that's what I'm
NFL
saying.
history, yeah. So it plays a huge part because now it's like, all right, well, this guy just went to the Super Bowl, only got $180 million guaranteed, didn't get his entire contract guaranteed, and like this was actually the first time in Philadelphia or the Eagles history that there was a no trade clause. I read that. I don't know if it was for quarterback because. A contract with a no trade clause, I thought it was pretty common nowadays. Like I feel like there's no trade clauses in almost in a lot of contracts, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I just feel
I think
like
it gets it's more recognized whenever there is one.
because they make sure to say it.
Yeah,
Because
it's apparently it's like a perk for a player.
Mm-hmm. But I guess this was the first one in Eagles history, which I found that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't know if it's any player or if it's just a quarterback, but yeah.
Again, I think this is terrible for Philly. I mean, it's good for Jalen Hurts, terrible for Philly. I think they're going to lose. I don't think he can bring him. I don't think he can. He can't Patrick Mahomes his way to the Super Bowl again.
So you think he's a one-hit wonder?
Unless they can figure out a way to put pieces around him, like draft players, and because they do have a lot of draft picks. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of draft picks. If they can put the young players, cheap players around him, and they could probably get back. But with what they got right now, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Bad for Lamar. Sorry, bud. You're not going to get your guaranteed.
He's not going to get over 200 mil like he wants. He's going to get sub 200 mil guaranteed.
I can only imagine what Lamar was doing when he saw that news.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for him. I mean, he can check and see what Joe Burrow does next. That might help him out like a tad bit, but that's the other, like I said, underlining storyline with this is that, the big one is the guaranteed money market got readjusted.
It did. It got readjusted. Again, like I said, I think it's for the better. I think with these quarterbacks demanding all this guaranteed money is not good for the league because the owners just won't. They simply won't dish it out unless you're Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. And then like with if you look at history, Brady taking cuts and stuff like that, like you want quarterbacks who are more interested in winning than in money. But obviously the quarterbacks are going to be interested in money, but you got to I think that's what you have agents for. You got to pretend like you want to win, but you also want to get paid. Mm-hmm. That's why you need an agent to negotiate.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got anything else on the Jalen Hurts news?
No, that's about it.
I'm pretty pumped about it. I was pretty excited when I saw that.
Players not showing up for voluntary OTAs.
Who the fuck cares? Why do we make this a big fucking deal every single year? There's players who are in the middle of contract talks and negotiations that don't show up every year. It happens all the time. And they're voluntary.
Yeah.
When they don't show up to mandatory OTAs, then we have a problem. Stop freaking out.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the key word right there is voluntary. You know, it's like basically, whether the player wants to or not. Like you said, they're still working out contract details. There could even be other reasons why they're not even showing up. But yeah, it's basically the media trying to make this into like a Big Brother episode.
Yeah,
where it's like drama all around, but it's really nothing to really scuff at.
No one cares.
Yep.
You got anything else on the NFL?
That's about it.
Okay. Let's talking soccer, eh? Talk some fucking soccer.
Soccer.
Last week I said I was going to explain the La Liga, and honestly, thank God. Because this is the Spanish version of the Premier League.
It's not La Liga my balls?
La Liga my balls.
Yeah.
Ah, man. That was a good one. I should have thought of that one.
Yeah.
League my balls. Founded in 1929, it is from
mid-August to mid-May. So we got just a shit ton of leagues going on all year.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no brackets. Well, it's a double round robin. So like everybody plays everybody twice. And I guess the team with the most points at the end wins, just like the Premier League.
Okay.
So there's not really any bracket. You don't have a tournament.
I gotcha.
Bummed me out. I thought the Spanish, might be a little more creative and do that, but yeah, the bottom three are relegated to they're demoted, they're fired, they're sacked.
They're sacked.
So it's called the second division.
Okay, second division from La Liga.
It's from La Liga, the second. Yeah, they're in second place.
Okay.
I was looking. It kind of sucks because I think it's at the top. It's basically just the Real Madrid, and Barcelona.
Yeah,
it's just those two,
and then just everybody else.
And then everybody else. I think Atletico Madrid and Valencia might have a couple. They were probably. I think they were good back in like the 50s or 60s or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're very top heavy. This is a very top heavy league. It's kind of like the NBA almost.
The East.
The East, yes. Just very top-heavy. It's just, you got your top four guys, and then that's it.
Yeah. I was going to say the Bucks, Celtics, and everybody else.
Bucks, Celtics, Bucks, Celtics, and everybody else. That's essentially what it is. Number 2 through number 6, I believe, or maybe the top 4, top 5, they are the ones, like in the Premier League, they get invited to UEFA European bullshit.
Okay. I don't know what bullshit means in this
UEFA
content.
League. Remember what I tried to...
Oh, UEFA. Yay, UEFA.
Yeah, that's what I tried to explain last week.
Ah.
But I didn't really get very far because it confused the hell out of me. Mm-hmm. I actually I learned less about soccer.
Gotcha.
I learned less. So La Liga. I've actually had... I mean, it's Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi back in the day, like the 2000 teens, going at it. So,
One thing I noticed about this was there's a lot of authentic teams in this league.
Yeah.
When I was going up and down, there was a lot of authentic teams, real teams, real teams.
They're all real.
The only thing is, though, they didn't have a blue check mark, so I'm kind of questioning the authenticity of them.
The authenticity of them?
Yeah, they didn't have a blue check mark. And as a millennial, any profile that doesn't have a blue check mark, I'm going to question if it's a...
Fact check.
Yeah, if it's the real profile.
It's fake news.
Real team.
Yeah, they're not. They just they actually just exist on paper. They're not really anything. Especially nowadays. You just buy your blue check mark. Come on. Fucking fake ass Madrid.
You just call yourself Real.
Yeah. Speaking of Real Madrid has the most championships with 35.
Wow.
35, yeah, lots.
Okay.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
People still watch it?
I don't know.
Just,
not
Real
verified.
dominating everything?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to watch that. At least the Premier League, you got some... it gets mixed up,
Mm-hmm.
You got the bitch Chelsea...
Yeah,
you got Liverpool won. Manchester City, Man United. I know Man United has the most, but it's not by that much.
Still competitive.
Still competitive. So I don't know. Yeah, that's La Liga.
Okay.
So we figured that one out. I don't know what I'm gonna do next week. I'm just gonna maybe try and explain UEFA again. Liverpool won. They won 6-1. Mohamed Salah had 2 goals. I know that.
Nice.
I don't know which. I don't know if that's Premier League. I don't know if UEFA. I don't know what it is.
Where Liverpool is in this, they might be in a pool.
They might be they live in a pool.
They might be living in a pool.
Oh, it might be water polo.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
They won 6-1 though. You got anything else in Talkin Soccer?
That's it.
Okay, I feel stupid every time we do that segment. But anyways, other sports news, playoff hockey has started. I'm fucking excited. I'm pretty bummed the Pens are out. But I'm also kind of happy that not only the Pens out, the Capitals are already out as well.
Okay.
So I'm pumped. Playoff hockey, one of the best things of all time.
Yeah, it's like that's your best consolation prize. If your favorite team isn't in the playoffs, you want your least favorite team out of the playoffs.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's honestly it's the Capitals. I know I don't like the Flyers very much. Big Pens fan. Go Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't like the Flyers at all, but I kind of hate the Capitals right now.
Okay.
I fucking hate the Capitals.
Capitals suck.
And last thing I had was the Tampa Bay Rays. They are hot. Hot.
Those Tampa Bay Rays, they're so hot right now.
They 14-2. They started off 13-0, I believe. They've gone 1-2 in the last 3 games. It's good for them.
114 runs scored. The next one up is 97 plus 72 differential.
Bats are hitting, baby.
Bats are hitting.
I still have not watched a single fucking MLB game this year.
Even with the sped up game.
I've just been watching a lot of college baseball, dude. College baseball is a little more fun to me for some reason. I don't know. There's just wild scores. There's wild shit that happens every time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's fun. I like the MLB because the pitching is so much better, but it's college baseball is a wild card.
Yep.
But
a little bit more errors.
Yeah. You got anything else?
That's about it.
Alrighty. We'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Later.